The Dodgers closed out a 9-game road trip with a 3-0 win at Tampa Bay. The Dodgers had played 18 consecutive innings without scoring. They're back at home tonight against St. Louis. Angels left fielder Taylor Ward hit a game-winning 3-run homer in the bottom of the ninth to give the Angels a dramatic 8-5 win over the Chicago White Sox. The Angels are at home tonight against Tampa Bay. After winning 7 of their last 10 games, the LA Sparks are only 2.5 games out of the 8th and final playoff spot in the WNBA. The 12 and 15 Sparks have 17 games left on the schedule. They haven't made the playoffs since 2020. The Sparks are at home Tuesday night against the Indiana Fever. An LA County judge has ordered former Lakers forward Lamar Odom to vacate a home he's been renting in Studio City. Odom owes $45,000 in unpaid rent. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we aim to foster enlightening, sustainable, restorative dialogue, and we welcome unapologetically progressive viewpoints that empower fellow citizens. We are now accepting submissions for KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorials like this one.
For the KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Recently, I listened to a Tavis Smiley Show conversation with James Farr. James said something that caught me off guard. Black out the Dina is gone. My community is being murdered. I said murdered.
All you have to do is go to our website homepage at KBLA1580.com and click on the icon that says KBLA Guest Editorials to learn more about our editorial standards and content submission guidelines. As long as the topic aligns with our mission, we are happy to review your submission and consider it for broadcast. We can't make any promises, but we want to amplify progressive perspectives that are community-focused and solution-oriented. So, go to KBLA1580.com right now to download all the information you need about our guest editorials. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Satin and silk, my white cotton feels so good. Search high and low for a place where I can lay my burdens down. Ain't nothing in the whole wide world like the peace that I have found. In the little things and the joy they bring. It's the little things and the joy they bring. Yeah.
KBLA Talk 1580. Look who's here. Look who is here. The Dynamo. She is, of course, a KBLA host. She is a psychologist, now an author, a pastor, a mama. You got a lot of jobs.
There are a bunch of jobs rolled up into one job.
Dr. Shalonda Crawford, a.k.a. Dr. Sunshine. And you're live on Instagram right now?
I am live.
She's live on Instagram. We're live on YouTube, of course, as usual, every day. Congratulations, Dr. Sunshine.
Thank you.
On your new book, Oh, and I forgot you're in a movie. Man, you got a lot going on. Employ Your Pain, Putting the Hurt to Work for You is the name of the book.
Yes.
And, of course, you're a psychologist, so that's part of your day job is helping people put their pain to work.
Yes, and to rest.
And to rest and make it stop working them, right?
And stop working them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Weighing them.
Yeah.
All the good things.
Yeah, we were just talking about that with Sahara Ali in this idea of a pain body where we get stuck in our pain and tell the same stories over and over again and sort of whatever the opposite of employing your pain is.
Yeah, what is the opposite, I guess, would be because we also want to unemploy our pain too, right? But the opposite is the pain working for you. I actually heard that segment and my thought was, venting or repeating and getting it out is never good. Rumination is terrible, especially when it comes to pain. But I also think it's the motivation and intention behind it. Why are you telling it? Are you telling it with purpose? And are you telling it from a healed place?
Yeah.
I feel like we have to be good stewards of our experiences as well. So I'm at a place in my life, Dominique, where I don't mind sharing any experience that I've had, that I've experienced so far, but always with good intention and good stewardship. So it's not for me to squander and just share with whomever for whatever purpose. I don't want to be the center of the gossip session, but for purpose, I don't mind sharing.
Yeah, I love that distinction because it means that, we do hear, well, you got to talk to somebody, get it out. But then, as you say, there's a fine line, maybe not that fine of a line, or you're ruminating and you're just kind of getting stuck and
replaying it.
So being intentional about how
and why.
Yeah.
How and why. Otherwise, I 100% agree with Sahara. It's ingraining the experience deeper into your memory. The brain is so fickle. What she was describing is neuroplasticity, where you just continue to ingrain the same pathway of thought. You know what I mean? The same school of thought. And that just makes it harder to get out of.
You say you don't mind sharing any experience, and you share some profound ones in this book.
Intentionally.
Yeah.
Yeah, intentionally.
What does it take to get to that place? I mean, you are a first lady and a pastor and a shrink, so now I'm going to bare my soul.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think I cannot be an author of a book called Employ Your Pain without some willingness to model and example what that means. So I feel like my life is riddled with pain. And I also feel like that's what makes me a good therapist, because there's no judgment seat and I can relate to a lot and connect on a lot of different levels. But I also believe that if I'm going to be an authority on this topic, I have to be able to discuss the tough stuff and model that this is how we do it.
Yeah.
This is how we do it.
Well, I mean, in one example that you give in your book, which we actually also talked about in the first hour, was being a Black student or a Black family in a predominantly white, wealthier scenario because you were getting some kind of subsidized housing situation and the trauma that comes with that opportunity.
Yeah, microaggressions, they actually exist. I think that's the biggest trauma, I think, was navigating as a child microaggressions, because you don't have language for it. You know that you're feeling it and you can sense that I didn't quite catch that joke, but you don't always understand and know what it is. It's being othered before you even understand what that means.
I like your grown response to racist jokes, though.
Yeah. I don't get it. Explain that. That's my response.
Yeah, well, that's deceptively simple, because now you're making the bigot explain what they just said, or even if it's unconscious bias, now they have to.
Yeah, I love what you just said. Even if you're not doing it intentionally, I'm going to help you bring some awareness to that statement. What does that mean?
Yeah.
And usually if I can give it back to you, because you were bold enough to say it to me or in my presence, so if I can give it back to you and make you explain it, you don't usually get repeat offenders.
Yeah, I bet not. I bet not. But of course, little Shalonda did not know how to do that.
No, and like I said, I could feel something underneath there, but I couldn't be sure of what it was. I became very sensitive very early, very young. Yeah.
Well, the reason we were talking about, how do you help a child employ that pain? You know what I mean? Or process it. And then, of course, you dealt with it. I dealt with it. We rebounded, or we found a way to hopefully heal and move beyond that. But how do you, number one, how do you know you've moved beyond it? And number two, what would I do to help my child process that?
Well, children. I think we don't give children enough credit. My first 7 years practicing was with children, and I realized that they're not only extremely intuitive, but extremely tuned in, and they understand a lot more than we give them credit for. But I think it's first, it's speaking their language. And it's hard for me to say exactly what that language is because all children are different. But I think it's being, I always say, an attuned parent, a parent that understands your child. As a therapist, it takes a minute for me to understand where that child is intellectually, emotionally, and psychologically, their ability to connect with me on that level. And it's amazing how much they can express and how much they can take in and process if you understand their language. In other words, you just said it, as an adult, I can explain a joke one way. As a child, I need other avenues. So I worked a lot with children in play therapy. We did a lot of imaginative work because sometimes if you can role play as someone different, it's easier to tell me if you're telling me as a different character. And so, it depends on the child and the age of understanding and comprehension.
So for a child to employ their pain, it's going to take some guidance, and it's going to take you knowing that kid.
Some guidance, yeah, and understanding, knowing the kid. And then also finding out where the threats are, if you will, better than threats, where the trust is in that child's life as well, too.
That's an interesting way of looking at it. Look for the trust, not the trauma. Yeah, we're talking with Dr. Sunshine, Shalonda Crawford. If you got a question or conversation, call us, 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-687-7979. That's 800-687-7979. 800-687-7979.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no-clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions, like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Thanks for starting your morning off with a voice that speaks truth to power and the powerless, getting to the heart of what matters most in our community. This is where authentic conversation meets real action. From breaking news and politics to culture and community solutions, this is where you hear perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. This is where we come together, get informed, and make change happen. You're inside First Things First with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Good morning, sunshine. You make my day.
Here comes the brand new flavor in your head.
Race, social justice, sports, politics, art, music, culture. We do it all on the D.L. Hughley Afternoon Show. If you're not tuning in, then you are definitely missing out. It's the D.L. Hughley Afternoon Show, weekdays from 2 to 4 only on unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580.
Like a brand new flavor in your head. Yeah.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay, we got way too much media going on in here. We're on Dr. Sunshine's live. Actually, I just joined her on Instagram.
Yes.
And you can kind of see me. Okay, there we go. And we're also on YouTube, KBLA 1580 YouTube, and of course, Old Fashioned Radio and our app.
All of that.
We are connected.
Yes, we have all the things going on.
Yeah, the book is Employ Your Pain, Putting the Hurt to Work for You. You can see her holding it up on the YouTube, on the IG. What was your purpose? What was your purpose in unpacking your pain here?
So the purpose was twofold, actually. So fold number one, as a therapist, I just felt it's important. I felt that it was important to find an easy and practical way to help people navigate trauma on their own, if possible. Not everyone has the resource to grab a therapist. And let me just say, I've always said that a good, trusted, confidential friend that is a safe space is as good as a therapist.
As good.
Well, if you want to get into deep-seated issues, then you're going to need a trained professional. But a lot of us, we're just trying to get through the problem at hand, the one in front of us. There are always deep-seated issues that you're going to need a trained professional to help you out with. But my first thing was, let me find something quick and practical to help people navigate the thing that's right in front of them. So it's like a first responder, if you will. The second reason was a little more topical, and that is I was going for all of these speaking engagements and not getting them because I was getting beat out by authors. They're like, well, we'll go with him because he has a book on the matter, or we'll go with her because her book kind of indicates that she's an authority on the matter. And I'm like, listen, I am a licensed psychotherapist. I know what I'm talking about. So if I have to write a book to make me legit, then let's do it.
It's funny you say that because I've had people tell me that too. Well, you're not a national figure because you don't have a book. My show streams on YouTube. It streams on the app. It's national. They want a book, but let's get a book. And you did just that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to circle back to one thing you said, though. if you have deep-seated issues, you're going to need a professional. How do you know if they're deep-seated issues?
You know what? Oftentimes you don't. But if you see yourself arriving at the same issue over and over and over again, it's likely not coincidence. And oftentimes, what I see more often than not, I will see people coming into therapy for one reason and then staying for a plethora of others. There's so many sub or unconscious things that are driving our buses. And sometimes we don't realize that we're a passenger on the ride and that the subconscious stuff that we've tucked or repressed is actually driving our buses.
Yeah, I think about that. You say when you see the recurring issues, that might be a sign that it's time to get professional help. I feel
Possibly.
like that shows up a lot with people in relationships.
Yes.
Where you're having serial monogamy, and I think the temptation is to say men ain't ish or women ain't ish, instead of saying, why am I choosing the same situation over and over and over again?
Yeah, people think it's a coincidence because they don't believe that they're choosing it, but they definitely are choosing it. Same person, different name, different face. There's something about you that keeps picking this person. We lean towards what is familiar. I'll tell you an interesting thing. Our brains are set up for survival, not success, but survival.
Not success?
Right. So what's familiar?
Well, I guess it's a success if you don't die, but still, that's not thriving.
Depending on what it is, right?
Right. Well, yeah, that's
so
true.
we lean into what's familiar, even if it's not the best for us, because what's unfamiliar and uncomfortable makes the brain go, this is different, this is different. And so we tend to lean until you can... we talked about those pathways in the first segment. So until we can make some new pathways and give our being something new to strive for, that's why getting to the deep-seated issues is so important.
Well, it's one of the reasons I asked that is because just looking at your book and thinking about this idea of taking our pain and sort of translating it into or transforming it into something that can be a strength instead of a weakness. I wonder if we always know, are we doing that, right? Because, I mean, you tell the story of being raped in your book. And I know I'm a sexual abuse survivor. I also have a number of friends who are. And I wonder sometimes, we think we're healed, but are we?
I suppose that's a subjective question. How easy is it to talk about? Where are you on your journey to and through forgiveness? Those are a couple of indicators that kind of helps to know where you are. But whether or not you're harboring things underneath is hard to say. I do want to say I'm so glad you used the word rape, because it is what it is. And so often we make that a pretty word, sexual assault, violated or whatever, but it is what it is. And yeah, I'm so glad that we should be able to normalize, this is what it is. This is what happened.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I don't want to give away too much. You can read the book yourself, but that assault or rape takes place in the context of church.
Yeah.
Which is where you are still working, living. You married a pastor. It seems like if there was an opportunity for it to be a problem, it's there. You know what I mean? For you to feel traumatized or to feel unhealed.
I think so. This is the funny thing. In the rear view, hindsight is 2020. I think it's extremely interesting that years before I met my husband, this happened to me, this huge violation at the hands of a pastor who was also a musician and producer.
Like
I'm a
your
spiritual person. I'm a Christian person, and I definitely do believe in spiritual warfare. And so I believe that my counterfeit came to me years before I met the one for me, probably to distract me and turn, because you would think I would be completely turned off from pastors, which I was, completely turned off from, music producers, which I was. It's almost a miracle that, Shep and I did meet Mary, and we did it very quickly. But it's almost a miracle that even happened. So looking back, it feels like it's confirmation. I feel like that I'm in the ordained place. Isn't that something? It was hard to trust church.
Wow. Yeah, that does seem like a confirmation, but the fact that you receive it that way is also a testament to your process.
So perspective is everything. The way that you see your situation is everything. When you can get to the point where you see your pain as a faction of you that propels you forward, until you can get there, it's going to be difficult to employ your pain. We are all here on earth inside of the life experience. If you're alive, you're inside of the life experience. And pain and trauma, however you define trauma, it's a part of the life experience. All of it is preparing us for purpose. So would I like to repeat that trauma? No. Some people say, if I had it to do all over again, I'd do it all over again. It's hard for me to rush into I'd do it all over again. But if I believe my own message, then a rape was needed for me to walk out the purpose that is, divinely ordained for me.
Ooh, the rape and the healing from.
Which is a very proactive choice.
I mean, because you talk about the shame, and that's the thing that I hear most prominently from rape survivors.
I felt like I had a very unique shame experience, because a lot of survivors were children, and you see a child as someone defenseless. Unable to defend and protect themselves. But I was in my 20s. And so I carried a lot of shame and guilt because I felt like I should have been able to do something different. And I was silent for a decade, more than a decade. And when I say silent, I didn't say anything. My best friend knew that was it. And just the shame was too heavy. The guilt was too much, because I should have been able to do something different. That's how I felt.
Dr. Shalonda Crawford, a.k.a. Dr. Sunshine, is my guest. We'll continue after news, traffic, and sports on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. California Governor Gavin Newsom is calling a special election this November to let voters decide how congressional maps are drawn for upcoming elections.
Maps will be made available in a transparent way. We will go to the people of this state in a transparent way.
They aim to boost Democratic representation and respond to redistricting concerns. Seattle is suing the Trump administration for withholding $370 million in federal funds. Black Mayor Bruce Harrell says the money approved by Congress supports public safety, housing, and diversity programs. City officials argue Trump's actions are unlawful. And Erykah Badu is hitting the road this fall for the Mama's Gun 25 tour, celebrating her iconic album's anniversary. The tour kicks off October 3rd in LA and wraps December 10th in Dallas, with stops in other major cities. Tickets are on sale now. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Is this the tackle? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
It was a good day Sunday for both of LA's baseball teams. The Dodgers closed out a 9-game road trip with a 3-0 win at Tampa Bay. The Dodgers had played 18 consecutive innings without scoring. They're back at home tonight against St. Louis. Angels left fielder Taylor Ward hit a game-winning 3-run homer in the bottom of the ninth to give the Angels a dramatic 8-5 win over the Chicago White Sox. The Angels are at home tonight against Tampa Bay. After winning 7 of their last 10 games, the LA Sparks are only 2.5 games out of the 8th and final playoff spot in the WNBA. The 12 and 15 Sparks have 17 games left on the schedule. They haven't made the playoffs since 2020. The Sparks are at home Tuesday night against the Indiana Fever. An LA County judge has ordered former Lakers forward Lamar Odom to vacate a home he's been renting in Studio City. Odom owes $45,000 in unpaid rent. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
JP Morgan Chase offers tips for the local business owners in 2025. Small business landscape is ever changing, and the Los Angeles market is no exception. A startup or legacy business, revisiting your mission statement and recalibrating offerings can renew opportunities for growth and innovations. Programs like Chase for Business Coaching for Impact gives entrepreneurs access to expert guidance, helping you streamline operations, strategize your growth, and navigate complex challenges. Businesses with a clear sense of purpose can navigate any challenge effectively, but also build stronger customer loyalty. Visit chase.com/coaching for impact for more information. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase.
Your child is 18, and suddenly you no longer have legal access to their medical info, even in an emergency. No health decisions, no financial help, nothing, unless you plan ahead. That's why Trust and Will created the Young Adult Plan. It includes HIPAA authorization, healthcare directives, and power of attorney. Everything your child needs to stay protected and stay connected. Go to trustandwill.com and get your Young Adult Plan for just $69, because turning 18 shouldn't mean cutting parents out of the picture. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Trust and Will. Some things can steal your sunshine.
Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we aim to foster enlightening, sustainable, restorative dialogue, and we welcome unapologetically progressive viewpoints that empower fellow citizens. We are now accepting submissions for KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorials like this one.
With the KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Recently, I listened to a Tavis Smiley Show conversation with James Farr. James said something that caught me off guard. Black Altadena is gone. My community is being murdered. I said murdered.
All you have to do is go to our website homepage at KBLA1580.com and click on the icon that says KBLA Guest Editorials to learn more about our editorial standards and content submission guidelines. As long as the topic aligns with our mission, we are happy to review your submission and consider it for broadcast. We can't make any promises, but we want to amplify progressive perspectives that are community-focused and solution-oriented. So, go to KBLA1580.com right now to download all the information you need about our guest editorials. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where everybody is somebody and nobody is a stranger. You belong here.
Okay, Dr. Shalonda Crawford is here. We never stop talking.
Oh.
That's why we're on Instagram. At Dr. Shalonda Crawford. You're Dr. Sunshine on Instagram?
I'm
I follow you.
Dr. Sunshine Show.
Dr. Sunshine's
And
show.
Dr. Sunshine.
So we're streaming on Instagram. We're also streaming on YouTube at KBLA 1580. Selena Ricks is in the YouTube chat saying, Dr. Crawford, I too was violated as a young child. So to your point, but even kids have guilt about it.
Oh, for sure.
Guilt and
because,
shame.
Kids grow up feeling like I should have told.
I should have told, or I should have stopped it, or I should have been a superhero and punched the guy and flew away or something.
Those things,
And I feel like when you talk about employ your pain, it's hard to do that without confronting your shame and guilt.
You definitely have to work through that. That's where a trained professional comes in. Like, good friends don't always know how to help you navigate stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I like your questions. If it keeps coming up, if you're not, if you are not able to talk about it easily, then might be time to get some help.
There's some more work to do.
Yeah.
There's some more work to do. I hear people say, I can talk about the rape situation on any platform before any number of people. I tell people I can talk about this now like I'm drinking ice cold water on a hot summer day. It's just like...
It doesn't trigger you at all.
Not anymore.
And you don't worry about and I'll tell you why I'm asking this. In working on my own book, I have been struggling with whether or not do I name names. You don't.
I didn't, because there's no need to give power to a name.
Right.
No need. The person is forgiven. The person no longer holds space in my mind.
Do you
and
have
in
to
my
forgive
heart.
them? Is that a requirement of being healed?
This is a great question. Here's the reason why I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
And I know forgiveness is a controversial
because I still haven't
subject.
forgiven the person who killed my sister. I haven't been able to get there yet.
That's some tough stuff.
But I know that I probably need to do that.
I'm going to tell you why I think so. Because as long as you don't, they live with you. They're connected to you.
Yeah.
There's a tie to you. And I feel like that person does not deserve the energy to vex my spirit in any way.
I love the way you said that. That person does not deserve the energy to vex my spirit.
It's too much power.
Yeah.
It's too much power. I release you. Go. So while I'm here struggling with you and the act that you decided to do, you're off living your life.
Yeah. Well, he's in prison.
He's not living his life.
Yeah,
but
he's in prison.
Yeah.
The cops got him before. Anyway. So Jerry says self-reflection is problematic for many. Pointing the finger is always easier than doing the work. But pointing the finger is not healing.
No, it's reflection. Deflection. Not reflection. It's deflecting.
So it keeps the pain away from you, but not really.
Not really. It doesn't keep the pain away from you. It keeps the pain inside of you. While you're pointing this way, nothing's happening internally. And to that, what's that person's name?
Jerry Anderson.
To Jerry's point, reflection is tough, and introspection is even tougher. It's one thing to look inside and say, hey, there's an issue. There's another thing to get inside of self and deal with the issue.
Yeah. Well, Selena says that young, you don't know what's happening to you, especially if it's someone you know, but you know it's wrong.
You do.
Something feels off.
You do.
You feel gross and guilty and terrible.
Mm-hmm. So as I said, I've worked with children for many years, and they always say, I didn't understand, but somehow I knew it wasn't right.
Yeah.
There is a...
So what's the process for forgiving, right?
So forgiveness is a decision.
Not a process.
It's a decision that is a process. It begins with a decision, and then you have to begin to work the process.
I love that. A decision that is a process. So I can say right now, I'm going to forgive the person that murdered my sister and her friend.
So the forgiveness is done.
I'm making that decision right now today with you, Dr. Sunshine.
I am elated. I can't even tell you how hard it is to sit in this chair.
Now I got to figure out what the process is.
So now you have to process through the emotions. So, said another way, now you have to work to have your emotions catch up to the decision you've made. You have to work through the emotions to support the decision that you've made.
Okay, well, we're going to get right on that, Dr. Sunshine.
I love it. I love it.
Because you're right in a way, my sister Shani Baraka, it can be overshadowed by that unforgiveness. And I never want her to be overshadowed by anything.
It also keeps the pain alive. So I'm talking about the pain that is associated with him. You know, we lose loved ones, and grief is our response to loss, right? And the more that there's a direct correlation between grief and love. So grief, the amount of grief that we bear is in the direct propensity to the amount of love that we have. And so that person who snatched your sister from you, as long as you hang on to him, you hang on more for the grief. So what I like to do in session is get people to the place of healing where you have no more physical, emotional, psychological pain, but only the good stuff. You remember the good stuff without the pain attached to it. And as long as you have him, you're attached to the pain.
Yeah, that makes sense. So that's kind of like that's one barometer of saying I'm healed enough to write about this, or I'm healed enough to employ my pain, is when I am able to remember that person or that incident and what good came out of it. The way you spoke of your rape, and you're saying this is something that got you to where you are now, which most people wouldn't even be able to open their mouths to say.
Right.
That being able to make that statement is part of how you know you're ready to employ your pain.
And writing a book is so cathartic. It's so therapeutic. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary. But it's one way to release.
Yes, indeed it is. Let's go to Bobby calling us from where? LA. Hi, Bobby.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. What's on your mind?
I have a question for your guest. My sister at 12 was statutorily raped, and the perpetrators were former friends of mine, and I cannot forgive them because they ruined my sister for the rest of her life. She was only 12 years old at the time. I struggle with forgiveness.
You struggle what do you know what forgiveness is like a broad thing. What is your struggle exactly and specifically?
Well, they ruined her. She's 55 now. They ruined her, and I can't forgive them from doing it to me. They were friends, former friends of mine, and
your former friends raped your sister.
Yes.
When you say they ruined her, like, what do you mean by that?
She never got over it. She never got over it. She never got over it. She has mental illness from that incident.
Yeah, that often that can happen. That can definitely happen. A lot of mental illness is birthed from environmental factors. But I say the same to you, as I shared with Dominique. As long as you're not forgiving, then they live with you. They live with you. You're carrying them along in life as well. You are carrying them, and the weight of them sits on top of your psyche. For me, it's too much power. I don't want to be connected and associated. And so for example, there was a time whenever that person's name was stated, it could just immediately shift my mood. That's a lot of power for me to be in a mood state, and the mere mention of your name takes me out of my mood. I don't want any person to have that much power. That's what unforgiveness does. it connects you and the person that you really don't want any connection with at all to remain connected.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's you hanging on. And why do you do it? We typically do it because we want that person to be punished.
But we're punishing ourselves.
You say, if I let you go, then you got away with it.
Right.
And really, they're gone. You can't possess them. You're just left with the bag. It's not a bag you want. It's a lot of bricks in the backpack.
Does that make sense, Bobby?
Yeah, it does. Yes, it does.
I mean, clearly you're not friends with those people anymore, right?
No, well, I'll never see them again since high school.
Mm-hmm. But they're living rent free, as they say, in your head, in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Well, two of the guys got jail. Two of the guys got jail time. One of the guys got away with it. So.
So maybe you can do what I just did, which is make the decision to forgive them, and then we'll figure out how to get there emotionally.
It's hard, Dominique. It's hard.
It's the toughest work that you'll do. When I first went to see a spiritual counselor, and she told me that I had to say the name out loud. I forgive you. I don't know. Say a name, John. I forgive you, John. And I couldn't get it out of my mouth initially because I did not feel like I don't even, and that was for me, that was my test, you know, and I had to continue to say, I forgive you, John, until I could first say it and then mean it.
And then mean it.
That's a process.
Yeah, that's a whole nother level.
I don't claim this to be an easy thing. It can be as hard as saying, I forgive you, John, and not meaning it. Imagine getting to the place where you can.
Right? Yeah, that's step one.
I just want to validate your feelings of toughness because it is tough.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, even saying that right now to Dr. Sunshine was actually not that easy for me because I've had conversations with friends where I'm like, I gotta forgive. I know that, but how?
I wish that you could see Dominique's eyes. I saw it in her eyes.
Because you said it's a decision.
Yes.
So that means I just have to make a decision and then we figure it out. If it's a decision, let's make the decision and then figure it out.
Yeah. And those of us who are followers of Christ, it is the cornerstone of our whole faith. We are forgiven. You know, that's what he died for, the remission, which is the forgiveness of our sins. So how dare us take on his mantle of forgiveness and then not issue it back in return. He didn't say it'd be easy.
Okay, she went all the way there.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Bobby, we're on the spot. We're on the spot. But I think you called here for a reason, so maybe you can make that decision today too, and me and you, we can work on it together.
Well, I'll try. I'll do the best I can, but I'm glad I called, though. I'm glad I got it off my chest.
I like that, Bobby. But can you make the decision? Don't you want to let them go?
It's hard. It's hard.
So is it too hard to say, I'll make the decision today?
I can say that. I'll make a decision today.
Perfect.
I can't do it.
Yay!
But you don't have to feel it today.
You don't have to.
You don't have to feel it today.
I'm not all the way there in feeling it today.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, Bobby. I just when she said it was a decision, I said, okay, I'm deciding. I'm going to forgive this joker.
And
not cuss
he
on
can be
the
a
radio.
joker. He can be a joker. He can be whatever. Do you hear the grueling? Do you hear Bobby? He is really tussling with
I'm
this.
right there with him. I really am.
I'm so glad you called because you're really a great example of the depth of pain and grief.
Yeah.
You know?
And also the fact that, you know, when we hear airy-fairy people going, oh, just forgive and blah, 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 you're like, fool, what?
That's
no.
fairy tales.
Airy-fairy. But when you said it was a decision, that made sense because there's a lot of hard things in life that are just decisions and we just have to do it. And then we figure it out.
Yeah.
And then we figure it out.
You have to work from there.
Yeah.
You make the decision. That's the easy part. The hard part is all that.
Even though it's not that easy. And saying I decided to forgive your example, John, or my sister's killer in my case, doesn't mean that I embrace it that I think it was a great thing, that I don't still don't have murderous feelings towards him, right? It just means I made a decision.
Forgiveness is not a two-way street. It doesn't. Forgiveness is not restoration. You're not restoring these people to anything. You, Bobby, you said that these people were friends, so you're not restoring the friendship.
I know them for years.
This is the hard part, because you feel like forgiving them restores them in some way, shape, form, or fashion. You can forgive people that you never see or talk to again. In many instances, I advise people not to. So forgiveness is not restoration.
Or reconciliation.
It's
just forgiveness.
It's freedom.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take that space that they're living in our head rent-free in, and we're going to put some other stuff in there, Bobby.
Okay, I can do that.
We're going to clear out those.
I'm
glad you did too. We're going to clear out those rooms and put some other stuff in there. We might have, some nice things that could go in that space.
There's a chapter in the book for you, Bobby. You got to pick it up.
I could do that.
Employ Your Pain, Putting the Hurt to Work for You is her book. Dr. Shalonda Crawford, a.k.a. Dr. Sunshine, is my guest. You can hear her every Sunday around here at 8 a.m. on her very own show. And we'll continue the conversation when we come forward, praying for you and for me and with you and for me. Bobby, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Much appreciated. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least like to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
You have cancer. The 3 words no one wants to hear. Of the cancers that impact our community, lung cancer is the most dangerous. More people succumb to lung cancer than colon, breast, and prostate combined. Black men are 12% more likely to develop lung cancer, and cases for black women are rising. Early detection and comprehensive treatment is the best way to beat this dreaded disease. Providence is a research leader in multi-cancer early detection, offering blood tests that identify fast-spreading cancers that don't show symptoms in early stages. The Providence Los Angeles Integrated Network Cancer Program determines best protocols for each patient, interacting with specialists who share experiences, perspectives, and new findings specific to each case. With over 1,000 board-certified physicians, including top oncologists, surgeons, radiologists, and nurse specialists, Providence delivers whole-person care that understands your culture, values, preferences, and priorities. So, if you hear the words, "you have cancer," all you need is faith and providence.org/cancer.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project. Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
We're still live on Instagram and streaming on YouTube. Dr. Shalonda Crawford is here, a.k.a. Dr. Sunshine. The Dr. Sunshine Show airs Sundays at 8 a.m. To start off your Sunday, you can listen to Dr. Sunshine, then go to church. Or go to church really early and then listen to Dr. Sunshine. Employ Your Pain, Putting the Hurt to Work for You is her book. And man, we got to talking we ended up talking about forgiveness because it does seem like a step in the road to
absolutely
freeing ourselves from our pain, from being prisoners of it.
For sure. It's a big, forgiveness is a big part of healing, which is why I had to include it in the book. In the book, I talk about unforgiveness and the effects of that, but ultimately it's the same thing.
Well, it's bringing to mind so many of these stories, whether it's R. Kelly or Diddy or many others, where Weinstein, where people say, why didn't they tell? Why are these alleged victims just now saying something? And I understand it as a survivor because there's a price to pay. I mean, aside from the shame, which is not really an aside, the shame, the guilt,
it's
the self-judgment, you think that's the main reason?
It's primary. I think everything else is secondary.
Really?
I do. Now, there are nuances, and like I say, individuals have different motives and reasons, but primarily I'm talking specifically when you're an adult.
Yeah.
There is a shame and guilt factor.
Yeah.
And then you think, well, what is everybody else going to think?
Right. I think that's big too, which is part of shame and guilt,
there's
right?
three things. There's guilt, shame, and the fear of judgment of other people.
Right.
Those are the
right.
things.
And when you're grown, those other people could be your husband, your kids, your employees, right?
And when it's Weinstein and R. Kelly and Diddy, it's the world.
Right. So now people say that women do it for the money or whatever, but most of them don't get money. They just get judged. So what's the upside of that?
Well, I would think it is for their healing process to feel like some justice happened. That's what I would think. But I don't know. I can't really say.
Right. But for those who are trying to forgive or overcome or move past unforgiveness, because, well, maybe you want to talk a little bit about it as you do.
Well, it's about you. It's not about...
I'm tripping. Dr. Sunshine, it is time for Tavis's show. We're just having such a good conversation. We may have to do a part 2 of this.
I think we may have to.
Yeah, I know you already have a show on Sundays, but every now and then we can do a show over here.
Please, this is where it all started for me.
This is where it all started. I had so many more questions, but we'll do a part 2. I'm glad you agreed to that. Absolutely. Because Tavis Smiley's up next, and he's got a strong show like your morning coffee on a Monday. He always comes hard on a Monday morning. So, and I know among those guests is Dr. Cornel West. So great show on tap for you today. We've got an amazing show tomorrow. Fatima Iqbal-Zubair, who's the Progressive Caucus Chair for the state of California, and rapper Jay French, who y'all love to argue with, are in studio with me tomorrow. So we're going to have a great day. Like my mama, the late poet laureate Diane DiPrima used to say, history is now. Like I always say, we're making it together. Until tomorrow, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. California Governor Gavin Newsom is calling a special election this November to let voters decide how congressional maps are drawn for upcoming elections.
Maps will be made available in a transparent way. We will go to the people of this state in a transparent way.
They aim to boost Democratic representation and respond to redistricting concerns. Seattle is suing the Trump administration for withholding $370 million in federal funds. Black Mayor Bruce Harrell says the money, approved by Congress, supports public safety, housing, and diversity programs. City officials argue Trump's actions are unlawful. And Erykah Badu is hitting the road this fall for the Mama's Gun 25 tour, celebrating her iconic album's anniversary. The tour kicks off October 3rd in LA and wraps December 10th in Dallas, with stops in other major cities. Tickets are on sale now. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
It was a good day Sunday for both of LA's baseball teams. The Dodgers closed out a 9-game road trip with a 3-0 win at Tampa Bay. The Dodgers had played 18 consecutive innings without scoring. They're back at home tonight against St. Louis. Angels left fielder Taylor Ward hit a game-winning 3-run homer in the bottom of the ninth to give the Angels a dramatic 8-5 win over the Chicago White Sox. The Angels are at home tonight against Tampa Bay. After winning 7 of their last 10 games, the LA Sparks are only 2.5 games out of the 8th and final playoff spot in the WNBA. The 12 and 15 Sparks have 17 games left on the schedule. They haven't made the playoffs since 2020. The Sparks are at